Respected Vice Chancellor, Professor Lalchungunga, senior professors of various departments, other teachers and officials, leaders of the Students' Council, and dear friend, freshers students. I am really honored and I'm really happy to be invited today to be your speaker. It is written inspirational speaker. I'm going to speak, no doubt, but I'm not too sure whether I'll be inspirational or not. Let me try to be inspirational as much as I can. Since you have been sitting silently for quite a long time, I want you to do one thing. That is just, if you feel like, just rise up in your seats and relax and take a deep breath. Deep breathing, if you want to do that. Yes, anyone who wants to do that. There is no compulsion for those who don't want to do it. Okay, thank you very much. And you have not spoken anything. We have been speaking, but you have not spoken a word. I want you to speak a few words.
Thank you.
Yes, not that. Just wait. I will tell you what you have to say. I was late for 6 minutes. I can make many excuses, traffic jam and things like that, but these are not acceptable. It's not my habit to get late to any function. So I'm a sinner. I want you to forgive me. So I want you to say, we forgive you. Can you say that, please? Okay? Okay, thank you very much. Now I am forgiven, so Father in heaven can forgive you because you have forgiven me. Every day I think you pray, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive them those who trespass against us. You know, we pray this prayer, but we never take very serious note about it. Now you have forgiven me, a sinner against you, and you can claim your forgiveness. Right, okay. I don't want to be making a long speech. My invitation letter, which I received, said that you may be of encouragement to many of the students who are yet to begin their journey. Marina has put these words in the invitation letter. I don't know if you are really to begin your journey today, freshers. You have already begun your journey. That's how I understand. You have already begun your journey, and you're going to continue your journey here in Mizoram University. How you do that depends on many things. The first thing I'd like to speak about is the joy of a teacher. The joy of a teacher. What brings the greatest joy, the highest joy to a teacher? It's the performance of the students as well as the placement of the students after they have completed their courses. As a teacher myself, I've been always filled with joy when I come to meet our former students who have been studying in our colleges, in our universities, who are well placed in society, in life. Not necessarily in government job, but doing some noble things in their respective ways. I have met so many students unexpectedly in different parts of our state, as well as our country, as well as abroad. I have met former students who are always having in memory the days they were with us. And it brings such a great joy to a teacher when we come to meet our former students. So today, as it has been pointed out by Professor Maggie, Professor Lalchungnunga, and also our respected Vice Chancellor, that you are here for a purpose. You are here for a purpose. And that purpose has to be fulfilled in order to bring joy to your teachers. That is, I think, the first thing you have to take note about. I'd like also to speak, can I borrow your mic, this move of the mic? I don't want to be stationary. I want to move around. I want to speak about attitude. Whether you will continue your journey in life or whatever academic area or any other personal interpersonal relationships or anything, the first important thing that you have to be mindful about is your attitude to life, your attitude to everything. That is important. Try to develop a positive attitude. The first thing I want you to have is an attitude of gratefulness, an attitude of thankfulness, an attitude of being grateful, an attitude of gratitude. The Vice Chancellor has just pointed out that being a central university, he has to often go to Delhi and plead for certain financial grants for your benefits. If you look at the infrastructure all around here, you will see that they just do not come up by themselves. It is because of the contributions that are made by people in the form of taxes to the central government. And the kind government of India has given us this university here in our city, in Aizawl. And we should be grateful about this. Think about it. I'm thinking about our days, our student days. I agree with the respected Vice Chancellor that you are the fortunate few. You are the fortunate few. And you are a fortunate generation. In my generation as a student, the nearest university from Mizoram was Gauhati University. Northeastern Hill University was not yet born. We had to go all the way down to Gauhati University. And we had to travel by bus from Aizawl to Silchar, and from Silchar to Guwahati. Sometimes, if you can afford, with students' concession, tribal concession, if you can afford, you can take a flight. That is very pleasant, of course, but it doesn't happen always. And we have to travel by train sometimes. So it takes a long, long time to reach the university. But here, university, Central University, is just by your doorstep. You have to be, I think, grateful about this. So try to make the best use of the opportunity that is given by the generosity of the government of India. Of course, with the support of the government of Mizoram. And other things that I'd like you to develop is strong conviction. Strong conviction, because conviction is very important. Don't just go about with life aimlessly. There must be a conviction in the heart that you want to do something. You want to achieve something. You want to have something, and you want to do something for others. That is very important. Conviction is something which you have in your heart that controls your life. And values, develop a sense of values. Values are not just things which you think are good, but values are things which you believe in and which you hold dear. What are your values? What is your value system like? What makes your life valuable? What are the things that are valuable in life? If you think deeply about this, you will find out that it's not necessarily things which most people think valuable. Houses, good houses, motor cars, and these kind of things, material possession, do not necessarily bring values to human life. You can build multi-story building, house, and fail to make a home. So what is more valuable is to make a beautiful home, a pleasant home, a home of happiness and joy, where every member is happy and contributive. You may have a good car, you may have very good facilities, you may have treasures, you may have money, but you may not really have friendship. You may not really have the respect of others. So please check your value system and try to develop a very positive value system of life. Next thing I would like to speak about is habit. Habits, habit forms gradually. Habit forms gradually. How many of you have bad habits? How many of you have good habits? I don't know. Think about your habit. What do you do just naturally? Not because of the compulsion of others, not because your teachers tell you, not because your parents tell you, not because your pastors tell you, not because your priests tell you. But what do you like to do? What do you do naturally by your own unction, by your own volition? That is your habit, which you do again and again. Whether it is bad or good, that I leave the judgment to you. It is said that you can make and break habits in 31 days. In 31 days. If you do a thing, repeatedly do a thing with conscious mind, with conscious effort, you can develop a habit. That can develop into a habit. And your practice, your constant practice of doing that will change your behavior gradually, and that change of behavior is what we call transformation. So if you want to break a habit, a bad habit, try to break that, do a thing which will counter it repeatedly for 31 days. In 31 days, if you can do it consistently with conscious effort, then you will develop a good habit. That will push away your bad habit. I think you have read some of the inspirational books. One I'd like to recommend to you is those written by Robin Sharma. I think you have read some of them. His first book, which is very famous, world famous, millions of copies are sold, is The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. It's very good. Read that. And one of his last books is Who Will Cry When You Die? In those books, Robin Sharma has pointed out that you can even defeat, he has taken an example of late rising in the morning. He says, you have to win the battle of the bed. You have to win the battle of the bed. You know, battle with your bed. He also speaks about mind over mattress. Mind over mattress. So by this, you can overcome late rising in the morning. He recommends that you should rise in the morning. You should get up in the morning, early in the morning. So he has even talked about 5 o'clock club, 5 a.m. club. Those who belong to this club, they rise at 5 a.m. in the morning. And though simple, though it sounds very simple, he says it transforms a number of lives. And he has many instances as example. Okay, now idea. It's easy to have an idea. Many people have different ideas. You go somewhere and have a discussion, have a talk, whether on Koharle and Queenie or on wedding days, if a group of people gather together, discuss certain issues, there are many ideas. Somebody says, when there are 5 men talking together, there are 6 ideas. Ideas are there. You may have an idea, but idea by itself doesn't mean anything unless it is worked. You have to work the idea in order to make it useful, in order to make it effective. So as scholars, as students of university, you will have many ideas. Many new ideas will come into your mind, and you will form your own idea. Now, don't just be proud when you have very high sounding ideas. I remember some of our university friends who can speak very intellectually, very highly intellectual things, but in their practical life, they are just like us. They are no different. So ideas need to be worked. Now, I would like to talk about vision also. What does vision mean? Try to be visionary. That means look ahead. When your physical eyes are open, have your intellectual eyes and even your spiritual eyes also open. If you do that, you will see the invisible. You will see the invisible. Great people are those who see the invisible ahead and are prepared for those things. And when you see the invisible, according to Shiv Khera, I think you know the author, Shiv Khera, very famous speaker. He has written "You Can Win," a book, and you can win. And I think one of his latest books is "Freedom is Not Free." He speaks everywhere, and he is well known for his inspirational speeches. He says, if you can see the invisible, you can do the impossible. If you can see the invisible, you can do the impossible. So have a vision of your future. Don't just be fooled by what is going on here around you at present. Look at the future. What will happen in the future? If I live like this, if the situation is like this, what will come in the future? So as learned people, as educated people, what will be expected of you is that you know what will be the consequences of public policies, what will be the consequences of plans, what will be the consequences of what is going on today. Don't just fall in line with, the popular culture. Sometimes you'll have to go against the culture also. And a few things about self-esteem. Self-esteem. Self-esteem is not ego. Self-esteem is how you understand yourself. How you understand yourself. What you know about yourself. It is not ego. Ego is a center where you want to appear like you are superior to others. That is not self-esteem. Self-esteem is to understand your real worth. Your real worth. What is your worth? What is your potential? What can you be developed into? What can you become in future? You should understand that. Self-respect, self-esteem is very important. That will give you confidence, and you'll be able to carry on your journey more successfully. And I'd like to speak also a few things about care for others. These days, I can sense that many of our young people are very careless about themselves first, and careless about others. Respect for elders, respect for teachers, respect for other human beings is declining. So try to recapture try to reinvent and try to re-practice, renew the culture of respect and care for others. People do not care how much you know, but they want to know how much you care. This is important. People do not care how much you know, but they want to know how much you care. Then, after all this, you will form a character. The sum total of positive attitude, conviction, values, habit, idea, vision, self-esteem, and caring, the nature of the caring nature, the caring habits that you develop will form a character. That will be your character. Character is different from reputation. Character is different from reputation. Reputation is what others know about you, but character is what you know about yourself. What you know very well, what you do while no other people are with you. That is character. You know what you think. You know what you do when there are no others around. That is your character. In order to have strong character, quality character, it is important that you develop all the things that I have mentioned. Now, life. When you develop such a character, you will know how to conduct yourself in life. You will know how to go on in life's journey. In life's journey. You will know that life is brief. Brevity of life. The shortness of life. Life is very short. You cannot get all that you want in life. It is too short to get all that you want. But it is long enough to give what you can. It is too short to get all you want, but it is long enough to give what you can. So, begin with the end. Begin your career, begin your life here on the campus with the end in view. This brings us to the idea of time. People say time comes and goes, or time flies. But in reality, that is not true. Time does not come and go, neither it flies. It is we who come and go. We come here today, but we leave tomorrow. We go tomorrow. Time will continue to be here. Time is a part of eternity, and it continues to be here. There is a Sanskrit saying, when you are born, people rejoice, but you cried. Live your life in such a way that when you die, people cry and you rejoice. I repeat that. When you were born, you cried and people rejoice. Live your life in such a way that when you die, people weep, people cry, and you rejoice. In order to rejoice when you are dying, in order to rejoice when the end is coming, you need to be careful about your life. I want to tell a short story of a person in order to inspire all of us. I am inspired whenever I think about him, whenever I read about him. He is an Englishman. He was an Englishman, just a cobbler. Just a cobbler. You know the cobbler? Cobbler is the one who repairs these old shoes. He never had any formal education beyond primary school. Never high school, never college or university. But he learned all by himself. He learned things all by himself. William Carey. He came to India. He came to India and he learned the Indian languages and had the Bible translated into more than 30 Indian languages. He even translated the Ramayana from Sanskrit into English so that Europeans could understand the Indian culture. That's what he did. Not only that, he translated books. He started the Serampur College, historic college in 1880, 1818, where currently your Professor Lalchungnunga is the principal. He started that college. It's going to be 200 years, few years from now. He started that, and he wanted all Indians, irrespective of races, irrespective of religions, gender, should attend that college. He believed that, yes, in his time, the colonialists had two very adverse attitude about education in India. Some colonialists thought that Indians cannot be educated. Others thought that Indians should not be educated. But it was William Carey who said Indians can be educated and should be educated. So he started normal schools. Then later he started the Serampur College, which was given a university status by the King of Denmark, King Frederick VI of Denmark. At the time, Serampur was a Danish colony. It was meant to be one of the 3 higher education institutions in the Kingdom of Denmark. The other 2 being the present University of Copenhagen and the other one, University of Kiel, which is in Germany now, and then Serampur. So it was started like that. And he wanted to have, he used to say, India is for Indians. India is for Indians. He began to write prose in Bengali language, which was responsible for the Bengal Renaissance. And it is in the Bengal Renaissance that great people like Rabindranath Tagore, Bankim Chatterjee, and all these great people could develop their talents and lead the nation. Sometimes we think that the colonialists were all bad people, negative, did destructive things for India. But we should realize the fact that some of the people from the colonizing countries were against the colonial policy, and they wanted Indians to develop. William Carey was one such person. He studied botany by himself, and he discovered 2 unidentified plants, Careya arborica and the other one. He started the botanical garden in Calcutta, which is still very famous even today. And he was given a doctorate degree by a university in USA. He used to say this: expect great things and attempt great things. Expect great things and attempt great things. Later, some people put for God and from God. But originally what he said was expect great things and attempt great things. I think we should remember, we should emulate those kind of people. I know many other people who come from such a background that they developed themselves and became great contributors to the development of human society. So he is a scientist, a linguist, a philanthropist, social reformer. Another one that he did, a contribution that he made to India was he joined the campaign with Rajaram Mohan Roy. He joined the campaign against widow burning and they became successful in the time of William Bentinck, who banned sati with a burning. Now, why do I say all this? Today, I am supposed to inspire you, which I feel I don't do it sufficiently, but continue to think about these things, and you will continue to be inspired, and this inspiration will help you to motivate yourselves to action, to your studies, because motivation is your part. Inspiration is the part of the teachers, and you will be able to achieve great things for yourself and for the society. Yes, I'm glad to hear that this kind of meeting with the freshers is organized annually. It's very useful, informative things are given, presented to us. But the first thing that surprised me a little bit is you use freshman orientation. How do you feel about it, ladies, girls? Huh? Can you have a positive attitude to this term? If you can have, I'm okay, but I have some reservations about this term. Huh? Freshers, girl freshers, do you feel welcome today? Yes or no, please? If you don't say anything, can I take it as yo? Huh? An answer which is neither yes nor no is called yo. Okay? Do you feel welcome? If you feel it's okay, I'm okay. But I have some reservations about it. I think our terms should always be neutral in terms of gender. Okay, that is just a suggestion. And one thing, when the student leaders presented their student life, one thing I'd like to suggest to you is those who are in the boarding, those who are in the hostels, can you think of organizing once in a while, after dinner speaking, after dinner discussion, or after dinner discussion, after dinner on weekends or during holidays, or some days when you are less loaded with academic assignments, take up certain issues, burning issues, current issues, and discuss it among yourselves. Or invite some special speakers who will be able to give you a kind of observations and comments on this. Invite those kind of people. That is very, very good. I am suggesting this because in my experience in JNU, we used to have this. Those of you who are from JNU, you remember, I think, in the mess, after dinner, we used to invite renowned speakers. Since JNU is based in Delhi, it's very easy to find good speakers. We invite them and they speak on certain issues. When Afghanistan was in trouble, then he talked about Afghanistan. When certain foreign relations issues are there, they talk about that. And things like that, it can be very, very educative. Apart from the academic courses, which I find very educative, is those kind of things. And students are free to argue, to debate, to discuss, to ask questions. So I would just like to suggest that if you can think about it. Yes, let me not comment on so many things which have already been presented. Now, my last word is, I have cited the example, I have given an example of William Carey. There are many people like that. There are many people like that. We know very well those of your senior professors. Many of them are my former colleagues, my former student friends, and we used to be together. We know how we struggled. During the disturbed condition of Mizoram, we know how we struggled. But in spite of that, they have come up in flying colors. So that is possible. Depending upon your attitude, your vision, your character, it is possible to develop yourself to great personalities. If people like William Carey can, why won't you? Thank you very much.
Thank you indeed, Rev.Dr. Lalchungnunga.